Hi guys, Rob here. So I've got an update, and it's a pretty cool update. Bobby Khan, the subject of yesterday's video, who is a fugitive from justice, #1 on the FBI's most wanted list for white-collar crimes, has reached out via email, not email, but Instagram, but not even really reached out. I believe it's his wife I'm speaking with. But they started an Instagram account, and they've got a plethora of stuff on there about evidence showing that they're trying to surrender but having difficulty doing so. Here's a quick video addressed to Mr. President.
Hello, Mr. President. My name is Bobby Khan, and I'm a fugitive from justice for the last 5 years. I'm on the FBI's most wanted list. I'm sure you don't get many messages like this, but you're about to hear something interesting today. This is my wife, Stephanie, my daughter, Lila, my daughter, Sophia. We're all American citizens. I have been trying for the last 4 years to surrender, and for the last year, I have tried insistently between myself personally and my lawyers to try to arrange a surrender for me. I can walk into an embassy tomorrow and turn myself in, but that leaves my wife, who's disabled, and my 2 kids, 5 and 10 years old, stranded in a country that is not their home. The only thing I'm asking is AUSA, who was from the Obama era. I was charged by Paul Fishman, who you fired, and his assistant is still obviously in position. The only request I've made is that I be allowed to walk into an embassy, I surrender, and then there's safe passage for my wife and kids back to the U.S. I'm not asking for a plea deal. I'm not asking for witness protection. I'm not asking for what the U.S. government, the Department of Justice hands out to thousands of people on a yearly basis. I'm asking for my day in court, and I'm being denied that day in court. And someone who is dealing with the Department of Justice and the FBI firsthand, you know why that could be. I'm not here to plead my innocence. I'm not here to plead my guilt. I'm not here to defend my case or fight my case with you. All I'm asking is you, Attorney General Barr, and Secretary Pompeo. I'm an American citizen that is being denied the right to a fair trial. I can come home tomorrow if I plead guilty. Those are the words of the AUSA, Andrew Kogan, out of Newark, New Jersey. However, I don't want to plead guilty. I want to fight my case. I was the victim of a overzealous prosecutor looking for some cheap headlines, and without doing a proper investigation, decided to indict me. As you and I both know, you can indict a ham sandwich for murder of a fat guy if you don't give him the facts that the person also drank like a fish, smoked like a chimney, and ate everything under the sun. So an indictment, you and I both know, means nothing unless I can have my day in court. So if the government says, particularly Andrew Kogan, who's this AUSA, that I've committed a crime, he should be willing to stand in court and face me so I can put my story out there for the world and the jury to see. I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking that if I'm indicted, I should be allowed to put my case out there. I should be allowed to be judged by a jury of my peers, which is my given rights as being an American citizen. Nothing more. Why is this AUSA, Andrew Kogan, trying to brush my case under the rug? And why is he trying to prohibit and prevent me from having my day in court? He's repeatedly threatened my wife when she was home before she left the country with prosecution. His words, and I quote, he can surrender, which means me, but the wife and kids can rot. The man has threatened my wife and my kids, and he has told me that my wife and kids can rot. I have personally, about a month ago, picked up the phone and called the AUSA. And I said, let's stop playing games. I want to surrender. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call my attorney, James Parkman, whose information is listed below in this post, and arrange a surrender for me. I'm not asking for a deal. I'm not asking to snitch where you have to put me in witness protection. I'm not asking for anything. Let me come home and fight my court. That's all I want. So, Mr. President, I plead that you, Attorney General Barr, and Secretary Pompeo can step in and arrange for my wife and kids to come home safely, and I will walk into an embassy tomorrow and surrender. I just want my day in court. I want to face my accusers, and as you know, how important that is. That's all I'm asking for. And I want the world to know there's a reason this AUSA is trying to brush my case under the rug. But that's for another post and another time. God bless you. You have anything to say to the President?
Mr. President, it's an honor. I pray to God that this message finds you. Just want to let you know that I come from a long line of military history. My grandfather fought in World War II. My father did 2 tours of Vietnam. He received a Purple Heart. Sorry. My uncle is a recipient of the Distinguished Service Cross. I have another uncle that did 40 years between 4 branches. We are an American family, and we need to come home. Sorry. My kids need to go home. They need to go to school. They need a lot of things. And we need your help, please.
Just want what is every American's right is to have a day in court. That's all I'm asking for. Shouldn't be a problem. Thank you very much. God bless.
So there's his message. You can go to @RealBobbyCon on Instagram. You can follow him and try to keep up with all this. I question why this is so difficult. You'd think if somebody was #1, like if Osama bin Laden at one point in time was #1 on our most wanted list, and he's like, hey guys, I'd like to arrange a surrender, you'd think we would sort of be on top of that. I do acknowledge and I do see, and I'm very excited for the possibility of him coming back, because he was the missing piece to so many lawsuits and so many millions of dollars. Like even if there was, say, $1.5 million of missing money, there was probably $8 or $10 million worth of lawsuits going back and forth. So if you think about everybody involved in all the lawsuits and the banks that wrote stuff off and the legal fees going back and forth, he was the missing piece. He was the stuff that nobody had access to. Well, I told Bobby this. I sent this message. He's got the records. He's got everything. And none of that was able to be presented in any of these cases. So you only had people saying, I said this, I said that, and throwing all the stuff at the bad guy who can't do anything. Well, if he comes back and we can bring him back into the country, which I agree with him that he deserves his day in court. Whether he's been on the run or not, add another charge of evading prosecution. Whatever it is, guy deserves his day in court. If it's true that the only way he could be let back into the country is by pleading guilty, that makes no sense. It's really weird to think about, if this is true, that the guy deserves, and if his family's American citizens, we have a responsibility to bring him back. Simple as that. Whether they left, whether they didn't leave, whether there's, excuse me, whether there's charges that they can face, that's great. Bring them back, and they have to face them over here. We're not going to allow them to face any charges over there. So let's hashtag bring Bobby back. Let's try to get this in front of politicians. And I didn't have time to watch all the videos, but if you go to his Instagram and scroll through, he's got tons of videos of these posts in the last couple of days. That is him. It is not like a fake Bobby Khan in a studio or anything like that. Let me put this on the record that I don't think the Clintons had anything to do with this. I'm just kidding. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think the guy should be brought back to the country, especially if he's willing to surrender to an embassy and get shipped back over here. His family should also come with him because they're U.S. citizens, and I'm excited to see what comes of this. So let's see if we can bring some attention to this. I'll use you guys. Hit up Donald Trump on Twitter. Hit up whoever you want. You've got a list of people. If we can get him back here, you're going to see some fireworks. This is going to be good because there's a lot of people, and he's got a lot of evidence, and I guarantee you there's so many people. The guy that that won my car in the lawsuit, I can tell you for sure he was lying. He had the same story to multiple people. Then he lawyered up. The next thing you know, his story changed, and he ended up winning my car in a legal battle that he wasn't entitled to win. So I'm now out $300,000. Oh, he also, whoever is answering Bobby's his Instagram handle, was complaining that my video makes it seem like Bobby stole $300,000 from me. I stand by my title. My titles are, you cost me $300,000. This is to you, Bobby. You cost me $300,000 by creating a situation where I ended up in court to argue over my own ownership of the cars. Anything beyond that is on the guys who lied, and if you can make that better, I'm a happy guy, because that is the karma. That's the problem when you lie in court or something like that. It goes on the record, and when something goes on the record and you lie in court, it doesn't matter. The only way you win is if that guy never surfaces or the truth can never be revealed. If the truth can be revealed, all the people that lied and defrauded, and even worse so than what Bobby did. I think, and then I said this in other videos, I think the guy was running the business. He was juggling. He's like, oh, he'd take the proceeds from a new car to pay off the old car, and he just got behind. I don't think it was a fundamentally fraudulent operation. So that being said, I'm sort of excited to see him come back, if we can get him back. So let's get the U.S. government. You have an FBI's most wanted fugitive out there saying he wants to turn himself in. Let's get him back here and get him in court. Hashtag bring Bobby back. Come on, guys. Help me out. For those of you not familiar with my other company, I started a company called Adventure Drives, which combines driving and bucket list travel. It's a lot of fun. If you're interested, prices can be done per person. Don't worry if you don't have somebody to go with you. We can match you up with somebody. You can check the link in the description for adventuredrives.com and sign up today.